Welcome to the TDC Today Show USA. My name is Sue Roscoff. We are here to share some fun and exciting things that are happening in the world of the Disability Channel here in the United States. So first off, we are going to go ahead and bring in Miss Emily Gomer to do our first introduction of our first guest. We'll start with our guest, and then we'll give you some updates at the end. So Emily, over to you.
Yes, so our first guest has been on the show many times, and who we went through the Happy Neighborhood Project, who is an author, app developer, sign language interpreter, and so why don't we bring her in to say a little more about who she is, what she does. So Marianne, why don't you come in here and say a little bit about your books that you have up there behind you, or your project.
Great. Well, thank you. Hola, everybody. Happy Saturday. We're into March here in a lion outlet and a lamb. It's been chilly cold here in San Carlos, Mexico. We're certainly working on the acts of kindness here. And yeah, I'm the author of the Acts of Kindness series, featuring 200 folk Manus puppets. The Acts of Kindness series are written for animation movies with sign language characters and soundtrack by Hawaiian artist Lucy and The Perfect Wave. And got a little bit of a little breathing problem down here. I apologize again. We've had some change of weather and the dust, and I did some traveling this past week, sharing the Acts of Kindness series. I'm involved with the Parrot Head local organization here that fundraises for different charities. We traveled back with Tom Shepard to take Arizona, and with our ride up there, we talked about his songwriting opportunities for Leon Clean Water Foundation and some future events in he's going to be doing. So it was a great networking and journey, and took care of some business up there in Tucson, and got to visit Sierra Vista, do some shopping up there to bring back down to Celos here. Actually bought a pool cover for the pool, and it was crazy up there. And being in the desert, just the wind picked up, the allergies, the pollen. So if I do a little coughing and sneezing, if we got it down here, my apologies, sounding or coughing. But it was a great trip, great opportunity, and we'll be looking forward to future events and with the Acts of Kindness series. And it's going to be Easter So I want to share my second book, Rabbit Acts of Kindness, No Bully, featuring Harry the hard of hearing rabbit, who is bullied off of the island of Oahu and lands on Rabbit Island, and he meets a sign language interpreter chicken named Chelsea the Courageous Sign Language Chicken, and Eve the finger spelling bumblebee. And he has to learn to stand in his power when enchanted tree. And he meets other classmates and learning sign language and have different abilities and capabilities. It's a beautiful story, and it sets out on May Day, Lay Day, which coming up in Hawaii. It's a big celebration. And we feature Auntie Renee in this first book, and she's manager at the Equus Hotel. And we roll over the third book to Righteous Acts of Kindness, again featuring Auntie Renee, who has Pono, the Polo Hawaiian polo, and gives him a lei. And it's a beautiful short story. And there's actually coloring pages that we put into the back of the book of myself, the creator, Lucy, the singer, Auntie Renee, and Suzanne Sims, writer, and created an app game for Pono, the Hawaiian. So Sue, when we get around to the show, we can pull up the website. We can actually go visit the app games to show our audience what we have created from thought to action with the Acts of Kindness series and these amazing folk banners puppets. And Easter coming up, so we have great gifts. The books are available on Amazon and Folk Mana's Puppets. And the news is that all classroom teachers in the United States of America can receive copies of my books from an organization called Donors Choose. So we'll be talking more about that in our rollover show, The World of Ability. We have multiple guests on there, and teachers and leaders and charity and voices for the veterans and military. So we just really appreciate you guys having this weekly Saturday show and networking. And I hope Tom Shepard will join us in the future, Kurt and Emily and Sue, because he told me that he's done fundraising for the Fisher houses for the veterans who go for treatment. And his friends have donated, I don't know, maybe it was 40 or 50 special kind of guitars to the Fisher houses. So hopefully he'll join us in the future, and we can learn more about that project as well, and maybe share that with Zach Clayton and some other people we met with Happy Neighborhood Project. So again, this Today Show has really linked up a lot of different organizations that can benefit people around the world. So thank you so much for having me be here. I'll pass this over to hear some feedback from who's joined us.
Excellent. Thank you, Marianne. Always so good to have you here and getting all the updates with all the great things on in your corner of the world. We do have a couple more guests joining us here, and I will first present Miss Debbie Hayes, who is a good friend of the show, good friend of ours. We are doing all sorts of things together. She has a new podcast that has started and has also brought another friend to the show. So Debbie, go ahead and introduce yourself a bit more, and if you would be so kind as to introduce our next guest as well.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I happen to be from Tucson, Arizona, Marianne, so is Joey. So I promote immune support for pets and for humans by way of the Coriolis versicolor mushroom. And also, as Sue said, I'm now doing the World of Pets podcast. You can find that at World of Pets podcast. Got to have the podcast in there or you'll get a whole bunch of other stuff. But on YouTube. So thank you to Emily for being my great cast engineer. And I am Joey on this show because he has a program called Dancing in the Streets, Arizona, well, AZ, a ballet school. And it's just an unbelievable program. I actually went because they were having a fundraiser. I went to get a plate of food, and I was early, and then the food was a little late. So I got to know Joey and his wife very well. And I got to have a tour of the studio and a little bit of information about it. I was so impressed by the fact that most of his students are on scholarship, at least some, and that instead of being asked to get their own costumes for the shows, he has a huge room that has all the costumes and props to be able to supply them. And then I went to see his Nutcracker show at Christmas, and it's really great. And he is going to tell you a little more, so I better be quiet. So Joey, welcome, and tell them about, I know your background with ballet is extensive. I haven't memorized it, so I'll let you go into that.
Okay. Hello everyone, and thank you, Debbie, for the invite to this podcast, and I'm really excited to talk about my organization. Like Debbie said, we're Dancing in the Streets, Arizona, and we're not located in Tucson. We're located in the city of South Tucson, which is, I don't know, or some of you don't know, it's only a mile square around. That's it. A mile this way, a mile this way, a mile that way. So the city of South Tucson, it has its own government, mayor, council, fire, police, but the problem is they didn't foresee that the actual Tucson, the greater Tucson, was going to grow around it. So right now they cannot grow. They're in deficit with their government. It's poverty. There's fires. There's all kind of stuff. So, but people ask, why do you want to start a ballet school in that area? Well, the reason why I want to start ballet school in that area is for opportunity. I want to give these kids and adults an opportunity to ballet because, ballet is such a fear word. When you say ballet, everybody's like, I need to be skinny. I need to So what I do is I take the fear out of ballet, or at least I try to. So pretty much. Let me go on. Dancing in the Streets. We are a nonprofit ballet school, and we deal with a lot of kids. We deal with a lot of kids that some ballet studios don't want to deal with. So we have the ADHD kids who are just bouncing off the walls. We have wheelchair kids. We have every kid who's ever off the scale is here. And what I found out is whatever problem they have, dance is a great way to help them calm down. It's a great way for them to see themselves for who they really are. So, like Debbie says, we do a Nutcracker. We do a Nutcracker every year. That's like our Super Bowl of ballets. It's a show that all the kids want to do, and I provide that, service. So and then we showcase it, so the community of Tucson can actually see that what I've done with these kids with ballet. You know what I'm saying? And right now we're getting ready to do a production of Cinderella, and this is really exciting for us. This is going to be history making for us because we're going to have two African American ballerina and a male ballerina. The ballerina that we have, the African American, she is from Tucson. She's from Dancing in the Streets. I taught her for the last 17 years, and she's ready to come out and do her thing. And then I wanted to have her to have a real professional. So I got an African American boy from Valley, Arizona, out of Phoenix, who's going to help her. He's going to be her friends. So it's going to be like extravaganza. I'm trying to promote this to the Black community. It's really hard because the Black community, with ballet is like oil and water with the Black community. So what I'm trying to do is, so actually I went to the Juneteenth committee, and my wife, what we do here, and we have volunteers, we have parents that volunteer, so we are a very small nonprofit ballet organization in the city of South Tucson. So that's who we are. So check us out, Dancing in the Streets, Arizona. Like the song. Any questions?
I have a question, Joey.
Sure, Devin.
Is there any way on a future podcast that you could show a little bit of the performance and how to incorporate the wheelchair children?
Oh, I sure. I mean, I'm sure I could set up a camera during my rehearsals, and that way you can see actually what really goes on, because usually this is what happens. I usually hire I usually get community leaders, especially Nutcracker. I usually get community leaders to do my Nutcracker. The reason is, they go backstage and actually see what it takes to make a ballet. It's not like you just walk on and just do it. There's practices, there's rehearsal. So that's why I bring in people to show that ballet is just not a hobby anymore. Ballet is a part of wellness. Part of what? If you've done a ballet, I don't care how old you are. I have old ladies come to me and say, "Oh, Joey, I was in ballet when I was 7 years old." I was like, "How old are you now?" "I'm 78. You still remember?" "Oh yeah, I remember." So that's where it is. So like I said, ballet is not a hobby. It's a form of wellness. It's a form of it's an art form that's going to help you discipline, coordination, balance, all the things that you need in life to succeed. So that's why I teach my kids here. So
I am so glad you're joining us here today. We do have another show coming right after this as well. I've got a few more questions I'd love to ask if you're able to stick around for a bit.
Yeah, sure.
We do have one more friend that has just popped in the door here that we want to make sure to have a chance to say hello here as well. This part is our TDC Today Show USA, and I know one guy who is, I definitely want to have a chance to say hello, is Mr. Aaron Avila. If you want to come on in and share a little bit about who you are and tell us about Stroke of Genius. So over to you, Aaron. Thanks for being here.
You're amazing. So thank you for the great introduction. Joey, your passion is amazing, bro. Honestly, love it. But for those that don't know me, I'm Aaron L. I'm CEO and founder of Stroke TV Media. And also I host a weekly podcast called the Stroke of Genius Podcast, Survivor Experience. I will any type of survivor, whether you survived anything, it doesn't matter. brain injury, whatever, come talk my podcast, Joe Meth Podcast. It's all about survivors, cancer, you name it, whatever. But I run that and I'm just having a great time doing it. And I just love Joey's passion. And he has such passion. I don't know, the energy that when someone finds their calling, it's so obvious to me. Joey, congratulations, bro.
Thank you very much.
That's awesome. I completely agree. When you find something that you are passionate about, it's easy. You can see it. It just comes out of a person, and it's amazing. And I love what you guys bring here. So I can't thank you enough. This, again, is the TDC Today Show USA. We were with the Disability Channel out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada, trying to share and showcase all these wonderful things going on this side of the border here in the United States. We've got some amazing folks that have come on here today. We have so much more coming yet. So thank you so much for being here. Stick around, don't go anywhere, but we are going to switch gears and head on over to the world of ability. So again, my name is Sue Roskoff. For all of us here at the Disability Channel and TDC Today Show USA, we thank you. Recording.